Welcome to Trading Lounge and the US stocks for Friday the 17th of September. And what I want to talk about today with stocks is the bearish side of the market, because yesterday with the S&P 500 here, I could count this down here as corrective or impulsive, and this would be the impulsive move here as 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 4, 1. They should be in blue, by the way, but not to matter. Wave 1 and wave 2 and wave 3 and wave 4 and wave 5. Now, the reason that I'm counting it down here in terms of 5 waves, which is an impulse wave, that means that after a correction in ABC we'll be going down again. And the reason that I feel like that is because I don't have 5 waves in this first move here. I have the A wave here, which is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, which we counted yesterday. The B wave here. And then we need to look up here. There's no 5 waves up through. I mean, there is 5 waves here, but there's no 4th wave and 5th wave here. Right, so it's just an A, B, and C here. So that means that we will need to be shorting it, well, under this level. We can bring it up to this level here. There's a few things that we can do, but the point being is that because we've got what we need to look at this as 5 waves now, then after an ABC correction, then we're going to get another 5 down. So yeah, that's sort of where we're at, guys, you know. So just be careful of how Friday closes and how Monday moves down. So you really need to, today we're going to be talking about sort of well, the stocks, of course, but you know, we're going to be looking at being on the short side and where we can do that. All right, so let's move into that. So Amazon is the first one here, and as I've mentioned before, I've been a little bit unsure about how this all ends here. I mean, naturally I would just see wave 4 sitting here for this, you know. I know we can do some weird things and go, well, wave 4 could go over here, and we could look at this as wave 1 here and ABC for wave 2, then 3, and then 4, and then 5, and have a top in here for that. But that's kind of forcing the structure a little bit, you know. What's also a little bit haunting is that the move down through here can be counted as 5 waves down through here. So we could also put this here, but we've been also looking at a 5-wave move in here as well. So that means it would be going up in that case. So I'm getting all these mixed messages in here. So I'm unclear about this particular market. But at the same time, we just need to be sort of ready to be on the short side. So you don't want to be overcommitted on the long side at this stage. So the other point here, this moving up here, if we just go to the tick chart. Do I need to bring any data? I mean, the thing here is that, you know, it counts quite beautifully really as 1 and 2 and 3 up here and 4 here, and then I was looking up for wave 5, but then I got that extra little sort of move in here, and it sort of bugs me and haunts me a little bit. So yeah, we just got to be a little bit careful that this can't be counted in a different way. So what I'm going to do, you know, because this here, I've got it down as an ABC, which counts okay, but if I've got that wrong, then we need to be short at this point. To be long here, you know, we can look at, well, if we're going from wave B to wave C up here, we'd expect wave C to be, you know, to move up higher at least, wouldn't we, if it was a wave C? You know, we could also look at this as wave 1 and 2 here. So I just want to be careful. This market doesn't really, Amazon doesn't really bother me that much, because it hasn't really rejected the 3,500, and a move below here would reject that. We have been working on it with 10 tick chart here as well, moving down through here, and it can't, you know, I mean, I could easily make a mistake here, but I've got 1 and 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 here, 4, 5, so that really, oh yeah, still that's part of that, isn't it? So It's probably the best fit here, but we just need to be careful. So, I mean, we're looking at being short under this low here. This move up through here doesn't count very well either, because it's a little bit hard to count, but we can look at this as 1 and 2 here, and then I can see that we got 5 waves in here, and then I can also see we've got the 5 waves in here as well. So we're sort of missing a bit here. So I'm thinking that we could also look to go short under here. In fact, I mean, these can also just be used as stops as well if you're long in the market, you know. Let's just put this here as half a position, and that way we don't have to sweat about it, because sometimes it's hard to move in against the market, and less becomes more at that point. So, as I mentioned, we're looking on the bearish side, and that's Amazon. This is Google here. Now, with Google, what about if this just failed here for a moment? So I know that we got 3 waves here. Now these 3 waves here, they could be counted down as down for 1, back for 2, down for 1, back for 2. It would only prove bullish if this top here was taken out. So we'd need to take that top out, because otherwise this move here can be an A and a B and a C here, and then we could move down further. Also too, this would be 1 and 2 here, and 1 and 2 to the upside here. So that B wave there, we can short that B wave. That means that wave 4 would need to come over here for that, and then this wave 5 here would need to come over here for that. So I don't know if that's the case. But today is about preparing folks for a move lower, because it certainly looks like that on the S&P 500, okay? We'll have to double check on the NASDAQ, but we'll do that in the indices video. So technically this, if you were long here, then this low shouldn't be breached. So if it's breached, well, you may as well be short at that point. So that's Google, and Apple as well. Now Apple was one that we looked at yesterday, and it was kind of the one that was leading to the downside, you know, and this is probably a good representation of what the S&P is going through, and perhaps even the NASDAQ as well, in that we can see in this case that we've got a very clear 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 for the third wave, and ABC for the fourth, and then 5 waves down here for the fifth. So in this case, it's, you know, a little bit easier. I've turned this box here green, so that means we can short in there, but don't overdo it. Just keep it a small position. The idea would be to get a position above the 150, and then also below the 150, and also with the 150 here we can look at the classic trading levels pattern to the downside. So we may get something a little bit complicated like this when it comes back down, you know, the bounce and all of that coming back above the level. But keep your eye on that first low there. So we could get that, or it may be really quite simple, but still you keep your eye on this low and the second low. So that means that in this space here, that's where that would occur. Now, normally there's some sort of equality between wave A and wave C. Now, this is the 50-60% retracement level up here, so it's quite a long way up. It may not get there. We may end up just seeing something getting to here somewhere and then fading from that point. So there's a couple of things that we need to talk about at that point, is that we need to be, I'll put this across here, we need to be short under group 2, 65, 72 and 80. That's a place where we can do. You could do that also under the number 2 here as well, the 72 under the B wave low, and also up here a little bit as well. So there's plenty of opportunity to move in the correct way, you know. So that would come through here and retest it, and you might get a second retest and those sorts of things, and you can move in on those, you know, in that way as well, on that rejection of that 150 in that space. That's if it trades above here. See, it may not reach the box. It may just go to 151 or something like that, you know. So yeah, let's just have a little look at that. See if we can see anything in there. I need to go to the 10-tick chart. I don't know if that's 1 and 2 or all that's 1 and 2. That's 5 waves in here. Maybe that's just all 1 and 2 in here, but doesn't quite fit. That's it there. That's one, and well, that also looks part of that structure. But technically, that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. But then, yeah, I don't know. I have to check on the 10-tick chart. Let's just have a little look at that. That little situation here is exactly the same as this one in here. So this building up through here is this one building up through here. I don't know if we'll get up there. I think we'll just do something like, you know, something like that. Okay, anyway, that's Apple. And Square, just using the tick charts today. So with Square here, as you know already, we're short already with this. We've taken a little, you may have taken profit or taken a percentage here, hopefully. Wave 4 has come back above the 38.2%, but it's come back into the wave 4 of one lesser degree. We're pretty much on track here. I just don't know if we should put wave 1 here and wave 2 there for this. I don't think so, because we don't really have a 5-wave sequence down here. We have 1 and 2 and 3. Just a bit messy in here, that's all. So I can't pin that down, but we can see that we're just about there because, you know, even though it'd be 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. We're not far here. It could go at any time. It'd be something like that. Do you know what I mean? But the point being here, don't have to worry about the exact high here. Is really just getting this here right. So that put a full trade on here, and yeah. So what number's that? 55. 56, 57, 58. So if we put well, I suppose that would be right because that low hasn't made a low above here, and that looks kind of impulsive to that point, doesn't it, with an ABC pattern to that point. So that means that would be 1, 2, that would be 1 and 2 in here. And that would be 1, 2, 3, 4, and where would 5 be? Is 5 further up there? There's that. One, 2, 3, 4, and 5. I don't know if 5 sits there or 5 sits. I don't know if 5 sits all the way up there. And wave 4 and wave 5 of 3, and then wave 4. And then wave 5, take that, don't need that. So if I just drag this across here a bit further, let's just turn that green. Here comes the rubbish man, but I'm not going to stop the video. So we'll just turn, don't want the border, I want that there, I want that. So this, that's at 260, so 258 would be a nice place to get that. Okay, just clean this up a little bit. Kind of don't need those. So if we can get it, if you can get a position up here anywhere, you know, you may even see. Let's just say this goes here, here, and just touches on there somewhere, and then moves down at that point. Let's just clean these up here. It's a little bit tricky guessing these sorts of things, you know. It sort of ends up like, you know, well, gee, Pete was drunk that day when you go back and look at it, you know. Not that I drink anymore. Don't mind a puff now and again. Well, I don't even smoke really. I don't mind eating a little bit of greenery, so to speak. There, so it'll be something like that. The other point here I just wanted to make is that as soon as you see that 5 waves come down, if you can count them, go to the 10-tick chart, then you can short it under that. That would also be another way to move in at that point. But make these smaller trades and this a larger trade here, and those two smaller ones there will help you get this right at this point, you know. The other way, of course, is the old-fashioned method, is like this, so that, well, that's going to be right here anyway, so you're going to be sort of caught on the bounce, so we won't use that. That's, sometimes you can use it, sometimes you can't. Sometimes the B wave's right down here and it's useless, it makes it too shallow, and other times it's shorter and it makes it perfect, you know. Yeah, so we don't need that. Okay, so I'll leave square as that. So, Facebook, we've got this as wave 3 with basically A, B and C here for wave 4, so I'm okay with that. It doesn't look like 5 waves up here. Once again, all of these markets that I'm looking at have seemed to have 3 waves here. So once again, we have to be careful that that we just get 5 waves up to here and then we move down at that point. I won't short this one in the box because of this, but we need to be mindful of where we are. So we don't need that there. We can bring that up to that point there now. So that will be the short trade for there, okay? Now, none of these may get triggered and we can just go into the bullish day and everything's, you know, fine. But I don't... sorry, I just lost the plot then. Another message came through on the side. Yeah, so, you know, I just want to be ready for anything that moves to the downside, right? I don't want to be caught out. You know, we're supposed to be professional, so let's, you know, let's be professional, so to speak, and understand both sides of the coin at all times. So Tesla's cruising along, okay. Definitely not bearish in this case, because this move here is in 3 waves, so I feel okay about this. This move is wave 3 going up here, still has got further to go. Is that wave 1 and 2 in there? Not quite sure, but we'd be looking for, we'd want wave 3 to have a bit of length here, wouldn't we? You know, realistically. So, but we're getting close to the top here in its final stages. Do we have wave 5? Oh yeah, there's wave 5 there. So yeah, if you're long in this, definitely take it. You know, I'm just going to put, we don't have a trade in here and I exited somewhere in here with all of this, but just in case you're in there, we're just going to put take profit here just as a reminder, because look, there'll be some sort of reaction there anyway, and we'll pick it back up. So it's no point, unless you've got tax purposes, you know, then you're going to be holding it, you know, down much further at that point. So I'll just put it under the level. We don't need to prove any points or anything. But the big thing here, of course, just going back to the daily charts here for a moment, because I know, you know, this stock is like Bitcoin. It's a bit of a cult stock in a way, and you know, that's great. You know, I mean, you know, both the future, both the, you know, technologies, things, and you know, why wouldn't you be in these, you know? But they do go up and down, and you know, they don't go up all the time. So there is a really good case here for, you know, this being 5 waves here. So we don't have another low below this wave A yet for, you know, to you know, for the offside of this, the A, the B and the C. We don't have that yet. So this market can move from 800 down to 500. Now, you may think that, well, Pete, that's completely wrong, because Tesla's got this going in the pipeline and this and that. It's not really about all of that to a point. I mean, yes, it is, but markets are emotional, and, you know, us folks that traded are emotional beings, and that's why they go up and down. So the thing is that, you know, you really need to protect your position here. So, you know, this is the old high here. So it may go, normally we just get to here and we'll have a sort of reaction. If it goes above here, this is, you know, it still to me is a reaction at this level, even though it went a bit higher. But to be long here, like, I would wait for the first high above the level. Once that's in, and I'll only know it's in because the market's dropped back down, then I can go to this level, right? I could possibly go down to another level here, but then if I'm going too close to this here, I would need to look for, you know, another sort of pattern to come in here so I could work this one. So this is really what we need over here. So even so, if you get out here and just, you know, just sit quietly for a bit and then just allow this sort of pattern to happen, then you can move back in if you need to, because otherwise, you know, it could just drop, you know, continue down here. We're expecting this wave 3 to come, you know, to show up in stock, in indices and so on. So, yeah, there's a good case for this to move down. So just be, you know, be mindful. I know that when you're in a trend, you think that it's going to go up forever. You know, it can take you 5 or 10 years to sort that kind of stuff out, you know. Well, okay, well, sort of that's it. And so today, be it right or wrong, I'm looking at the situation of being more preparing us for the bearish side of the market, okay? And that's really based off the S&P 500 here, because we can count 5 waves down through here. And the thing that set me off this morning when I woke up and looked at the markets is that we just didn't get 1 and 2 and 3 and 4 and 5 to the upside. We've only got 3 waves to the upside. So that's corrective. So that means that we're going to get 5 over here. I'll talk about this more in the indices video, but that's the short point there. And you can also look to add under these lows here. Now, how far do we go down? I need to sort of examine that a little bit. But the normal thing is that if the length of this is here, right, then you can just pretty much grab that and put that over here. So if we go to 45, then we can look down at 44 at minimum. Now, that would be at minimum, you know. So, yeah. So anyway, we'll talk about that later. But anyway, I needed to say that this pattern is bearish and not bullish. Alrighty, thanks for tuning in. Cheers.